Welcome to Power to the Flower. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Kara and I'm out in the garden and I'm working on this little corner right here. This corner is opposite our kitchen window. So when we're sitting in our kitchen table or I'm washing dishes, I see directly out to this area. This area has kind of been considered by me a dead area for the past 2 years, but this year I want to amp it up. In the winter, it's very sunny in this spot. So the first year that I lived in my house, I started planting around this time in January 2019. And so it looked like this, and I thought full sun plants. And so I put a bunch of full sun plants in this zone right behind me. And then as the season went on, I realized actually this gets a lot of shade because I'm sitting under a really giant oak tree. And when it gets its leaves on, then this area does still get sun, but it's more part sun. Last year, 2020, I planted a bunch of Tibouchina Vista snowdrifts, and they did not grow at all in this zone because they just didn't get enough sun. That said, it really depends on where in this spot because the shade moves this direction. So I planted the snowdrifts right on the edge of the bed, whereas the back of the bed gets more sun. So all of this to say, these are the sorts of things that you learn. And what I ended up doing is transplanting the majority of plants that I planted that first year, just down the way a few feet into the full sun position. So it's like very clumpy right there and then very open right here. So I've now added 2 hydrangeas. I think they're firelight hydrangeas and potentially are gonna get really big, but they've stayed this small for 2 seasons, so let's see. I've also transplanted them, this is maybe the 3rd time, so they really haven't had a chance to get going. So let's see what happens. I then have a red twigged dogwood in the back of me. The red twig dogwood is listed, I think, this one as zones either 3 or 4 through 8, and we are a zone 9, which means we don't get maybe cold enough for the dogwood to really thrive. Also, potentially, it might be too hot for the dogwood to really thrive. So again, I planted that dogwood 2 seasons ago. This will be its 3rd growing season. It hasn't changed height really at all. It's just sitting there. Also, it usually burns. The leaves and the flowers burn in the heat of the summer sun. So for that reason, I'm gonna dig it out and move it to a new location. And I'm gonna transplant in a purple princess flower. So let's talk about that today. So the purple princess flower is aptly named because of these beautiful, large, purple, tropical looking flowers. So my client had it in a pot and it had been in the container for a number of years. It was probably 2 or 3 times this size, taller, wider, blooming its head off, and we decided to transplant it from that pot into the landscape and put some new things in the pot. Well, when I transplanted it, I mean, it had been in there a long time, so it was really root bound in the container, and I transplanted it into the landscape without a blink. The plant just kept blooming. It never really wilted. It looked great, which helped me because that made me realize this is a hardy plant and I want to check it out. So firstly, the things that I like about it, obviously the big purple flowers. Secondly, it's an evergreen in our zone and it has these cool leaves that are a little bit soft, kind of like lamb's ear texture, but then they have these red streaks in them and red edging, which I think is very beautiful. Also, as you can see, the buds come out with red and green, and then the purple flower comes out of that. So it's just really tropical and beautiful. If you look at the details, you can admire so much about the plant. So I'm excited about transplanting out that dogwood and putting in this purple princess flower, which can grow 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. So potentially taking up this entire area with beautiful purple flowers. I know you can also keep it trimmed down. You can also buy them in tree form, and that's what I was considering for our patio area and still am. But I just thought, you know, let's just try this because this smaller variety is a lot less expensive than the tree variety. So let's give this one a go. So let's get started on this project. The first thing to do is to remove the dogwood, which I do by starting 4 to 6 inches out from the base of the plant and digging a little circle around the plant. I love my tool, the Root Slayer shovel, and we'll quickly be able to pop this out, and then I'm going to replant it in a different position. I'm not giving up on it, I'm just moving it away so I won't be looking at it every single day. As with so many garden projects, it gets bigger as you go. Once I removed the dogwood, I could see the jasmine roots easier and decided this is the chance to go ahead and take this out right now rather than wait until the purple princess flower is in the ground and then in my way. I don't like this jasmine. It's overcrowding the variegated ivy, which I prefer, and I want to make room for the ivy to grow into this fenced area. Cleared out the jasmine the best that I can on my side of the fence, and I've unrooted as much as I can on my side of the fence. Unfortunately, I can now see that there is some on their side of the fence, so I'm just gonna have to do my best in terms of keeping it under control. This might be a losing battle. We'll have to see. I definitely will plant some variegated ivy when I get my hands on some, but in the meantime, the red twig dogwood and the purple princess flower are in their new homes. I think the dogwood might stay wetter over here and have a little bit of more shelter from the sun, whereas the princess flower will enjoy its sunny position with some afternoon protection. If you want to see how these plants do, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Otherwise, I continue to post new videos on Tuesdays on my YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for joining me. Bye.